Allegedly.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I haven't even had time to go have a cigarette. That's depressing.
No cigarettes yet. Huh.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I was able
That
to.
was wild. That was wild. That chat was insane.
Yeah, yeah, all the people.
Flying.
I've always believed something, so therefore you guys are all lying up there.
Yeah,
That's what I got. I saw a lot of that.
there was definitely a lot of that. There was a lot of he fooled you because he's a master manipulator who is a trickster. So, but that's what I kept repeating in the chat is they're not looking for the things that we look for. They their training is on something completely different. They're looking for your blink rate, your tone, if you're looking away, how his body moves, how his hands are moving. They're looking for a whole plethora of things that we're not even looking for. So, but they did not. They were very angry.
Yeah, well, you could tell.
Very angry.
Well, at least they were being, I like that they're just speaking their mind in the chat about those people. Because I could see them typing in like, "Well, there's always going to be idiots like this." I mean, there was the part about, like Don admitted to. But here's what he admitted to a long time is that he had some sort of a sexual relationship, but in his mind, he doesn't think that it was assault or anything like that because he believes that the person was a willing partner. So when they asked that question, he goes, "No, I did not. No, I did not. No, I did
Well,
not."
they didn't ask that though. They asked, "Did you rape your sister? Did you rape your niece?"
Yeah, and technically
And
that would be called that. Like if you went to trial or court, right? Like when you're 16 and somebody is, 7 or something.
absolutely, it's
Yeah.
so did he molest her? Did he touch her? Do we know those things for sure? Yes, because he admitted that he did touch
Right.
her. Um, even though his mind is like, yeah, but she touched me too. Well, that's you molested her, you sexually assaulted her. I think he's thinking rape is actual sex, you know, penetration. Two different things. Touching
Yeah.
somebody in an inappropriate manner, which should never have been done. He molested her. He assaulted her. But they didn't, did they or did they not have sex? I don't know. Some people were saying he did force himself upon her and he did rape her, that she said that, but I've never even heard her speak. So I don't know what
Mm.
exactly she has said yet. So, but I think because of the question that was asked, that's why he was confidently able to say no. If they said to him, "Did you sexually assault? Did you molest? Did you touch?" then he would have had to admit it and said yes. I mean, he could have lied and said no, but they would have caught him. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to think. I mean, they could have done that, but that's not what their goal is. You see, they're trying
Right.
to find Summer, and the thing is they're trying to figure out if he's being deceptive or not on whether he knows where Summer is and what he did 30 years ago, or whenever, how many years ago, maybe 40. Um,
Right.
I'm not sure if that really. It does indicate a possible behavior associated with why she might be missing, right? But it's
Sure.
just kind of, that's not what their goal was, is to try to prosecute him on something from 40 something years ago, like some other channels.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also think that they were just trying to see his different reactions. They wanted to see how he answers those stressful questions, to see if he wavers at all, or when he's lying, what is that lie face tone going to look like? What is he going to do when he's lying?
Yeah, that's why they do
It,
those little baseline, like they'll ask questions and try to get how does he react when it's something kind of mundane and he's just telling the truth, and then how does he react later when it's something with a little bit more stress on it?
right,
Does he act that same way? And it seems like he did for the most part in their minds.
right. So, and they always say we could be wrong because, you kind of have to say that if
Yeah,
you're, doing these shows on YouTube. They have to put in there that it's also for entertainment. So it's a fine line that they're walking because this is an active investigation where Dawn is still a person of interest. It's not as though the Lawson's come out to say, "Hey, we've cleared the parents and they're all set." He hasn't said that, so they have to be really careful with what they're saying too. And I wonder if law enforcement watches these. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you
Maybe.
wonder if they. Well, it's going to be interesting because I wonder if Dr. Phil has a preconceived notion. Looks like they were in, near Dr. Phil there. So I don't know if he,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they're going to be on there, but it'd be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. Dr. Phil's always been pretty good at pulling information out of people for some reason.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting to see if Dr. Phil gets anything. The rumors on the YouTube streets are that Candace was there, not there with the behavior panel, but there either on set when the behavior panel was around, or just with Dr. Phil. I don't know which. And that at some point she got really upset and she walked off. And
Mm.
that the reason I thought it was with these guys is because they said they told him, but that could just be one person, that didn't look good. Her walking off like that does not look good.
I wonder if she walked off because maybe they're all feeling that same feeling that all four of them seem to have at the end there. That
Maybe.
that Candace is hiding something, and like I told Chasing, hey, maybe I should be on the base. I'm just kidding. I mean, I've always said that my main theory has always been that Candace is telling the truth all the way up until the final moment where something happened and she covered it up, drove home, and then put into motion a oh, she's just missing. And it would be such an easy lie. Everything else is true. Everything happened during the day. Everything. She just wasn't paying attention for a long time. And that one Facebook post does kind of make you think, wow, what was she doing changing that picture at 6? What was that time was that?
609.
Yeah, so that's a little weird, right? She's
She
changing
did.
pictures. That means she's not aware at that moment that she's missing. Almost. I mean, it sort of seems like it, right?
Right.
Like, why would you be changing pictures? Or there was something in the picture that she didn't want on there. I don't know, but
I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree that that's odd. So we had the behavior panel did Candace and Dawn first, and they felt that there was no deception at that point. We know consistently the TBI, the FBI, and the police have talked to them. Um, Now, recently, they've gone to the Dr. Phil show and they've done this. There is another channel who's been speaking to the alleged friend of Candace, who's been around since, a couple of days after Summer went missing. I guess she found her on Facebook or something. And she's been on this other channel, and she claims that there is video surveillance of Dawn at a fairground with Summer between like 3:45 and 4 o'clock. Now, at first, I took that with a grain of salt. I was like, that's weird. Then last night, she showed the text messages between herself and Candace. And she was back on the show last night. And she said, I'm not lying. Candace asked her, did you tell them that Dawn got off of work early? And she said, yeah. And she said, well, what time did you say that he got off? And she's like, I don't know, like 3:30, between 3:30 and 4 or something. And she was like, oh, okay. So that set off alarm bells for me, thinking, what is actually going on? This timeline is so jacked up. It doesn't feel real. And I know a lot of the timeline and certain information has to be kept confidential. They don't want that out in the public. But with people's friends coming forward, some stuff may come out that's not supposed to.
well, what
Like that.
well, what fairground? I mean, that would make Dawn totally part of everything at this point, if that is
I know.
true. Okay, I mean, but
She said it was about 45 minutes from there, wherever that is. 45 minutes from where they live. is where the fairgrounds are that he was seen. So the host
Yeah.
asked her, you know, did Candace tell you this? And she said no. But she didn't want to say where she heard it either. And she said, there's proof of it. There's video.
I think Don
I'm
would
like,
be arrested if there was video of that. I mean, that would
I
just
would
be,
think
that
so.
would be way too. I mean, it's like, Don, listen, you're on video with her at a fair. You've just denied this, the whole thing. And, arrest them on something. You can always find that lesser charge to put somebody in. And they would I think they would have done that by now. That just doesn't
Well,
sound.
I did look up to see if there's any fairs at that time. Um, the only one I could find was 4 hours away in Tennessee, so there weren't any fairs happening, but they said fairgrounds. So we know that there is a fairgrounds, and they have like car races and stuff at this fairgrounds. I don't really know, but just to talk it through so I don't feel crazy and to get your feedback on it, if he got home, let's say at 3 o'clock when they got home, and that wouldn't make sense either if they got home at 3 o'clock, because if he drove right up after 3 o'clock and took Summer, he could get to a fairground by 4, but then that takes out all the planting. It takes out the grandma's trailer. It takes out everything that Candace said.
Yeah, why would the grandma, who doesn't really like him, make up that story and be
Some
part of
people
it?
think he came and got her without Candace knowing.
Yeah, but I mean, the gardening and all that stuff was later. So how would he have been at the fairground at 3:30 with her somewhere? I mean, I get
Exactly.
what you would have had to bring her back, and then she, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. So what makes you think that this person's telling the truth? I mean, or
So the lives are so long. So there was somebody else up there who was talking about the wells. She's been in contact with Dawn. She has her opinions, whatever. This lady, her name's Jenna. It felt to me that the reason Jenna ended up getting up on the panel is because she wanted to refute some of the things that the first lady was saying. Uh, you know, irrelevant stuff. Irrelevant stuff. But once she got up there, they started asking her questions. And I think then she kind of got carried away with answering the questions. It looked like she was trying to not answer some, she was avoiding some, but then she just started talking. She feels like Candace, Candace drinks every day. She drinks whiskey. Um, she feels like Dawn has something to do with Summer going missing. So is that Candace trying to just get somebody on her side? Is there a gap between the wells, between Dawn and Candace? I don't know. She said on the way back from California, she was on FaceTime with Candace, and Dawn kept saying, "Are you going to tell her? Are you going to tell her?" And Candace was crying, and Candace said, "No, I'm not. I'm not going to tell her." And right before that, Dawn had punched Candace, like punched her in her arm or something. And then he kept saying, "Are you going to tell her?" And Candace was like, "No, I'll call you later." So I don't know what is going on. The woman, she showed her face. She was right up there. She's like, "I have no reason to lie." People in chat are like, "We're going to look you up. We're going to look up your background." She's like, "I don't care. I don't have a criminal record. I don't
hmm.
drink. My kids are adults. I've just been in contact with Candace since, Summer went missing. I just want Summer found. That's it." And she's told about all the text messages that they've had between each other.
Well, all this punching going on, the punching in. Are you going to tell her? Are you going to tell her? Is that on video, or is that
She
somebody's?
said that they were on FaceTime. She did say that she does have some. She said, "Yeah, I even have some recordings," but she's also trying to stay Candace's friend. So I don't think she's going to release all of that stuff, because that's more of a huge betrayal to her. She also said she has told, because people were like, "Have you told TBI?" And she's like, "Yeah, I've talked to TBI about what I feel." Uh, Chat saying it's probably all for drama. It might be. Like, I don't know where the
Yeah.
woman came from. She doesn't sound to me. You know how you'll hear somebody on a panel and you're like, "Wow, they're insane." She doesn't. It doesn't feel like that at all. I'll send you the video and the timestamp, and you can just listen yourself.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Yeah. And then just
Yeah.
tell me what you think. Because, sometimes I'll go down the conspiracy route here. And I'm listening like, what? They were at a
Yeah,
friggin'
it
fairground.
just doesn't really. I mean, if it was at the fairground, I think they would have released something about that so people could be on the lookout in those areas or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Just at
it
first,
was off to me.
yeah, huh? I have a hard time believing that one, but you never know, right?
Right.
This
No,
case
you
is
don't.
already so crazy. I guess it wouldn't even be that weird.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
And that I was listening to that and was just like, hmm, could any of this be true? So I listened to that, early in the morning today. And then we just listened to the behavior panel saying that they don't believe that Don Wells is directly involved. So then, your mind is just spaghetti because you're like, okay, so if they don't feel he was involved, but Candace feels he was involved, then what are we doing here? Is Candace trying to put this all on Dawn because she knows she did something? Is that what's happening? Maybe she's trying to, in a
yeah,
way, reach out to people who will corroborate what she's saying. Like she felt like this from the beginning. She's been telling them this from the beginning. But I'm also thinking you have to live there with him. They're both watching you on this YouTube channel. He's going to kill you if you're trying to throw him under the bus, saying that he had something to do with Summer's disappearance.
yeah. So
That scared me. I'm like, oh
has
my god, he's
Candace
gonna
been
kill her.
on this channel? Is that what you're saying? I mean,
The
I haven't
the
seen Candace
girlfriend,
anywhere. Oh, the girl. Okay. Hmm.
yeah, she said Candace doesn't trust anybody. She does not trust anybody. She won't go on these channels. She hates when Dawn goes on these channels. It makes her angry. She'll be yelling in the background. She doesn't like it. So I think
Yeah.
Candace is playing games just like she did with the call to Mary. Yeah, she could have asked this lady to go up there and do it. I don't know. It was just
I mean, here's the thing: is I think if that was a true story, somebody else in the media would have got like the big wigs would have got onto something like that. I don't
I
understand how
agree.
she would get somehow privy to something that big. That would be a huge get, and the networks are always. You ever notice that even though they're not following a case, they have
They do.
connections that boom, yeah, and even right at any moment in time, they can just get over there and get that one little piece of information,
Right.
like in the Brian Laundrie case. I have this producer from one channel that we're talking about a different case on, and he told me that a gun is missing from the house, and
Mm,
that's why they probably thought it was suicide, and lo and behold, there he is. They found him, not a lot, dead, body parts everywhere. I would, if it's not him, then I'm going to change the way I think about all kinds of different cases out there.
what
But
is life?
it's 99.9999. There's almost no chance it's not him.
Oh, there's a lot of people running around saying that it's definitely not him and that this is fake and that the parents planted that evidence. And I'm thinking, okay, the parents are not billionaires. They didn't pay off the FBI. They're definitely
Yeah,
not paying off the police. He was underwater. And yes, the parents' attorney came out and clearly said the Laundries told him they wanted to go back down because the reserve was open and they wanted to go looking. So the lawyer called the police and said, hey, they're going to go down there. So the police met them there. They found the notebook and the police found the backpack, or vice
yeah. I
versa.
mean, that's the part that's a little bit like, wow. I mean, what are the odds, right? Like,
What are the
but
odds?
maybe
Yeah.
they knew where he had been before, but the water was too high, and they walked down that little trail, and then boom. Or maybe we don't know what the backstory is of all that. It's just really strange. But I was interested that you said they planted. They may have
Mm,
planted. So here's the thing. Remember when he was underneath the garden? He was
he
planted and he
was.
reached up to grab the Snickers.
Yes, did.
Yeah,
Also,
and they watered it. So maybe something happened there, and the parents accidentally killed him by watering the plants. We
look,
just don't
Greg
know if
Hughes,
the.
your name was on that poster, sir. So we know that you don't believe that he's actually dead.
Yeah, no, I called up and I said, "Why the hell's my name on that?" And so they put sticker. I didn't call anybody. I said it on my show, and then the person who put the poster there messaged me and said she'll put stickers over it.
Good.
And sorry for not asking me. I thought that was kind of nice. At least said
Good.
that, but
Well, I wanted to make sure I mentioned it on here to clear it up to make sure that people
yeah.
know. No, Gray Hughes did not approve of nor want his name on that poster.
Yeah, no, it's. I think it's absolutely trash and garbage that people go and picket in front of the home and scream through bullhorns. Not only does it, it's just totally childish. You're not going to do anything. It also disrupts all the other neighbors that just want to have a peaceful life there.
Yeah.
Okay, and the thing is the laundries, even if you don't like some of their behavior, like I said on the show, and I think you said the same thing on yours. They lost their child right there.
Yeah.
They probably they're just probably were absolutely in shock. They probably had already resigned that he's not alive because they knew that the gun was
Yeah.
missing. They probably had a conversation with him after the 11th, don't you think?
I agree.
And
Yeah.
then they probably knew what was up, and then they think he killed himself. So they probably have already emotionally processed some of that
Yeah.
over time, so they're not going to be totally distraught. But anyways,
I think they knew they weren't going to see their son again, but that's still, you might hope maybe he's just on the run, but then you go to the reserve, you see his items, you can clearly see the police showing them something on a telephone, and they're trying to it's sunny there. So you can see them looking, and then the cop puts his hand on Mr. Laundry, and right then and there, whatever this item is that they're showing them on the phone or whatever they're showing them isn't good news. It's not good news. So how do you feel as a parent? The kids
yeah,
leave and they go on this trip together. Your future daughter-in-law is dead. Everybody's blaming you. Well, I mean, what they did was really shitty by not answering the telephone. But now your son's gone. Oh, man. I don't know. I couldn't deal with it. I think it's horrible.
yeah, and then you
All
got
the way
these
around.
clowns screaming through bullhorns outside the front of the house.
That he's burning in hell.
God, I
That
just
just did me in.
yeah. Are they still there today too?
I don't know. I have no
Yeah,
idea. As far as I'm concerned, the whole case is over. The story is over. And
yeah.
until, they come out and say, yes, we've identified those remains. But as far as I'm concerned, it's done. That isn't that what the FBI said when he read
Yeah.
his statement? He
Well,
said this case is closed, or
I hope
coming
that
to a close.
I hope he left a message on that notebook, and then
Me too.
they release the message,
I
unless
hope
it's
so.
just totally private towards like I don't know. They at least throw out the gist of what the letter said. You know.
I agree. I hope that he did. I mean, he owes them that much. But was the notebook underwater? We don't. If the notebook was underwater, is it salvageable? I don't know.
Yeah, and you see today, there's people they oh crap, the case is oh man, there's still gold in that stream. Hey, is it really Brian Laundrie? Let's do a whole show on this one now. Now we got some satellite image over here that shows. Hey, come on, you guys. It's like 99.9. Now I have to say it is quote possible. It's not until they identify him. But
Right.
you know,
But come on,
yeah.
stop.
We have the same disdain
Oh
for
my
that.
gosh, I just hate it. And I mean, I feel that way in the Wells case. And I know that, I've been much deeper into the Wells
Yeah.
case. Gray does different shows all the time. Gray is always doing stuff. And I've been very deep into the Wells case, so I understand how much people despise the parents. I understand. I get it. But just like with the parents of Brian Laundrie, I believe that people are innocent until we can prove that they're guilty. I might speculate, but I'm probably going to do it in my mind. And I'm not going to come out here and add fuel onto an already burning dumpster fire because it's just not right, in my opinion. That chat showed me how crazy people are.
Well, you already knew
Crazy.
that, but it was kind of cool to see it like in this huge quantitative
Yeah.
number. Like I always say on my my show, I say there are a lot of really stupid people in society, and they show themselves all the time.
It's crazy.
And they'll go, "No, I'm actually really smart, right?" No, no. Well, you might be, but you sound like a lunatic when you start typing in Like the confirmation bias is one of the biggest problems on social media. People get going down these rabbit holes, and they believe. Kanika Jenkins is a perfect example. They go down these rabbit holes and they have these whole theories worked out in their minds, and then when the reality comes in and it's something kind of simple and easy to digest, it's no, 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 no. And they keep looking for little tiny things to keep their story alive when it's over. It's
over.
Right.
It's over. You know, and we can't. Part of me wants to be. The word isn't happy. I don't know what the word is. A little relieved that the professionals, and keep in mind, these guys study this. It's what they do, right? Gray Hughes studies crime. It's what he does. It's what he loves to do. The behavior panel studies all types of body language, inflection, tone, all of this different stuff. They're professionals. We're not. I'm not. I just go with what my gut and my heart say. Probably shouldn't go with what my heart says. But I felt a little relieved to hear them say again after the first time.
Yeah. Or
that they don't see the deception. But people won't listen to that. They'll just say that Don is so smart. He's such a great manipulator that he was able to fool them.
They even made a similar type comment about how, wow, he's he's a master
evil genius.
Yeah, right, yeah. And I don't think anybody believes that he's probably a little more cunning than people give him credit for, but he's definitely not a evil genius. Okay, I can tell you that.
No, I don't give him that much credibility. I don't feel like Don is some criminal mastermind who can fool. He doesn't even, that was my other point. He doesn't know what they're looking for. He has not a clue what they're looking at him for, and they kept their eyes on that man. He thinks they're just looking to see if he's blinked too much and looking away from them, because that's what everybody on the internet thinks when you Google, how do I know if somebody's lying? Well, they blink too much.
And he referred to past tense. He's just
looking at him like that.
Don't forget the past tense. He said was. I tried to ask one.
What if you say something with an ly? That's also a
lie. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, see, even that word, that means it's not really allegedly, it's the truth, I guess, is what you're...
It's the actual truth, yes.
Yeah, or something.
And so Dawn, not knowing exactly what they're searching for, just answered the friggin' questions. So yes, he may be a liar, and I'm not saying that he's not, but they were watching him for really specific, minute things that we don't even see.
Yeah.
So how the hell did he fool 4 of them who were all looking for different things? How did he fool all 4 of them who were all looking for these particular things?
Yeah.
How did he do it? He's a fucking genius, that guy, Don Wells.
Oh, by the way, your hair looks good that way. Just letting you know.
Thank you.
See, everybody, look at that. Look at. Oh, wait, you're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to say that ever anymore. Shit. Okay.
Oh, why you're not supposed to?
You're not supposed to compliment women anymore because it's like
that's sexual harassment, you know.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I apologize.
I'm gonna sue you for everything your channel earns, sir.
Yeah. Imagine. No, what was I? I was going to say something related.
Yeah, you should say something like, "Hey, you look halfway decent today." I'd be like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah, and then you'd say, "Today? What do you mean just today?" See, no, you can't win.
No, he's an idiot savant. Yeah, perhaps he is.
What was I? I was going to say something.
Pineapple pizza is not happy. I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
Say something about that. What was the? Hey, thank you, Crystal, aka Beaver Gaming sub Crystal, and Brandy Bradford. And earlier it was, what is it? Leve.
Legs.
Wait, leave it to Bieber. Leave it to Bieber.
Leave it to Bieber. She wants to know how she becomes a member. You got to do the member dealie. Thanks, Susie B.
You know how to do it, Crystal.
Hmm?
Crystal should know. She's one on mine, I think. Yeah, you click on the member button below the video, or join button.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have that, then just put a / and the word join after the channel URL, and then boom, goes right there.
Let's see. This is probably, this might be a good topic for members, for the member call-in daily to see what people think because so many people have opinions on this. Uh,
Yeah.
it's it's a lot,
I mean, I can understand why people think Don, seems suspicious sometimes. And I have to, this is what I was going to try to remember to say, was that, see, the part at the end on the actual interview when Don hesitated and stuff, and he goes, "Excuse me." I thought it meant that he needed extra time to come up with an answer, but it turns out, where he literally had some sort of a hearing issue. But none of us would have known that. So,
Right.
I think even they would have called that out had he not had a hearing issue.
For sure, yeah.
That's why they even said that. I brought that up at all was because they knew people caught on to that, and they had too. But then they had a reason for it.
Linda says, I've been watching, but for some reason I cannot chat unless I send a super chat. You're chatting right now. Oh, I don't know. It's that member thingy.
Yeah, what you should try to do is sign out of Google and then back in again. Or, it's like go to YouTube, sign out, and then sign back in.
Yeah, maybe.
A lot of times that fixes issues. People aren't really signed in, and they think they are.
Hopefully that fixes it.
Although, why would her membership thing
That's
pop
working.
up? Yeah, that's kind of
The
weird.
member thing's working. I don't know. So, I don't know.
Well, the thing is, both of our channels have had some weird crap going on where
I was unsubscribed to other people who I've been subscribed to forever.
Yeah,
and I had
what's
to
going
go
on?
search their names. And when I search, like John Q, I've been subscribed to him since Kanika Jenkins. I went to his chat the other day. I was unsubscribed. I'm like, how did that happen? So I was unsubscribed from him. I was unsubscribed from vidIQ. It's like a tube buddy type YouTube thing. I was unsubscribed to them. I've been subscribed to them for 2 years. Weird things. I don't know.
Yeah, but
And
I
I
have
get,
some of my main, the people have been around for years. They had to send, I've made a post and they sent me emails with their channel URL, and I put it in and they're blocked. Like, that's just crazy stuff right there. So hopefully we got that all under control. And I actually started getting subs again yesterday. It was really weird. I had like 8 or 9 days straight where it went backwards, and I've never had that.
Angie Lee, you guys are awesome, and hair looks great with your lizard eyes.
That's right. There you go. Lizard eyes.
So funny. I can't. Oh my god. Yes, Indica.
Thanks,
Sorry,
Crystal.
here I am reading the whole chat when we're supposed to be talking. But when I mod on Chasing's channel, I try to look at deleted messages, and my whole YouTube shuts down. Same for me. Same exact thing happens to me. So don't feel bad. Like, I've been on Gray's channel, and somebody's deleted a message, and I'll click to view like what the deleted message is, and my whole YouTube will shut down.
Really?
And then then you have to click resume watching when you open YouTube again. It won't let you view it. It's really weird. I don't know. Maybe they're doing some updates and we're just missing it. I'm not sure. So
what else do you think about the behavior panel? What's
I think they're interesting. I haven't watched them over enough a long enough period of time. I only found them during the Wells saga. So I don't know. Are they usually spot on? Are they way off in their analysis? I don't know, because I fell for a lot of things. All right, when this Wells case started, people like subscribe to this channel, subscribe to this police officer, subscribe to that one, and I'm subscribed, and I'm thinking, why am I here? I want to punch these people.
Do you know I've had to slide you over twice now? Like if I was at the original setting with the camera, your face would be off the screen. Okay. I don't know what you're doing.
This face makes me crazy, Gray.
Yeah,
I'm moving all over the place. I know it's awful. Let me just sit.
Yeah. No, well, here's the thing. I think if they're all four, I think they have a little different disciplines in how they do it too. Sure. So it's interesting that all four see something similar.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Dawn, if Dawn is completely innocent in all this, right? Let's go with that for a sec. If Dawn is completely innocent, there is no way in hell he 100% is solid on Candace's story. Because if he was, the deception wouldn't be there, right? And they all felt that he was hesitant when it came to Candace's story. He knows it was not 2 minutes. He absolutely knows. Anybody with a brain knows that she did not turn her back for 2 minutes and the
Yeah.
baby got gone. Anybody knows that. So maybe that's the deception that they're feeling. Who knows?
I think that's also the deception that Candace. I mean, this is just my opinion. That is her story, but it was a much longer period of time, and something probably even accidental happened, but it would have shown neglect.
Mm.
And that's where I come up with. Then she did something with maybe even the grandmother, put her body somewhere like 10 miles away, drove back, and act like, oh my God, she's missing. And that's all they would have had to do. So that's why it seems so simple, that scenario, and easy to lie, because everything's true. You just leave out that little part. And then Don doesn't have a clue either. He's just kind of going
Repeating.
by, unless he's at the fairgrounds. All of a sudden, then, I don't. I'm just not gonna. I don't know. It's hard to believe that story at all. But let me go watch it though, like you're saying.
Yeah, there's a lot going up on that hill. I will tell you that much. There is a lot going on. Part of me is always going to be a conspiracy theorist. I can't help it. So I did start digging into things that I probably shouldn't be digging into. Surrounding that town, there is a rumor, Gray Hughes, you might be interested in.
Oh boy, here we go, everybody.
You want to hear it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So Don Wells may have been joking when he said this. I don't know if he was, but they were talking about Ronnie Lawson. And he was like, yeah, my uncle. And he was laughing. So I blew that off. I was like, oh, he's just making a joke, whatever. And then people are now connecting that the Lawson family is related to Dawn's the man that Dawn's mother married, right? Because he's from there, Kelly, whatever it's not his real name. I have his real name up here. So the Goads are allegedly, I don't know if this is true, related to the Lawsons, making Dawn related by step family, by marriage, to Ronnie Lawson. Then the other rumor is Ronnie Lawson is up for re-election in the town and that he needs to make an arrest. And his focus is laser focused on Candace and Dawn, and that he's going to make an arrest before re-election comes up.
And when's that? Coming up in November?
It's coming up soon, yeah. It's coming up soon. So now of course you can make an arrest with very little evidence. Of course you can.
Yeah.
But will he try to do something like that?
Here's what's going to happen. He's going to make an arrest on one day before election. Then the election is going to happen. Then the next day, well, we had to let him go because we just don't have enough to hold him. Boom! He wins the election and his buddy gets out. Right there we go.
There you go. I don't know how true any of it is. And, I sat here with my pen and paper and said, do I go down the rabbit hole and really dig into this? Or do I just leave it alone? Does it really matter either way? Because if they are related, it's by marriage and they probably don't even really know each other. I don't know. But I started looking because the locals there have channels on YouTube and I listen to what they say closely. The things going on in that little county aren't good. Between the drugs and the violence and the bullshit that goes on and the corruption, there's a lot going on over there. So could somebody, the lady who heard the scream has insinuated that there were 50 tree cutters up there, 50 people up there cutting trees. Other people are saying there were only 12 and those people were on the property. What are the chances that they didn't see Summer? Probably pretty slim, right? These are strangers. We don't know if one of them's a pervert. We don't know if one of them took a chance and came and took her away.
What time did she say that scream was?
She said the scream was at, don't make me lie, 4:42, 4:36 to 4:52.
It'd be weird if what if the scream was
4:42.
related to what happened to her?
Some people think that. Some people think that they left her in a hot car And when Candace found her, she screamed and it was her scream. And then they went and did something with the body. Other people, think because it wouldn't make sense to say, yes, I believe the scream. Yes, I believe Dawn took her. Why would she
But it could
scream
have
if her
also been a
daddy
scream
took
where
her?
she's not paying attention. Because when you're down that hill, you can't hear anything up where the behind at the house where where Grandis lives, because
Right.
the ground's blocking it. But the sound would be able to go to the neighbors' homes over here because it goes down. So you sort of wonder about that. Like, was that the moment where something happened just to her, even on her own, let's say? And she's like, who knows? But because Candace might not have even been aware of where Summer was for like an hour and something.
I agree.
Not 3 minutes.
Not 3 minutes. Because if that's the case, if she heard the scream at 4:42, the police aren't called until what time was the call? 6:29.
Yeah,
So
right around
that's
there.
2 hours. So none of that lines up. And if Jody Sue, the lady who heard the scream, is trying to, she's just saying, hey, it was at 4:42. Well, that throws a wrench in everything because it was at 4:42. Did they look for the baby for 2 hours before they called the police? Or did they look for the baby for 10 to 20 minutes like they told the police they did? That's very concerning. Now, that scream could have been irrelevant. It could have been, maybe the baby did scream something, and maybe they scream all the time.
Yeah,
She said
kids
the boys are
scream.
very loud.
Kids scream when they're just having fun. I know that because my neighbors scream all the time.
Yep. The kids out back from me, they scream constantly. I'm like, is somebody beating them? What is going on? But no, they're just screaming. That's what
Yeah.
they do. So
Yeah.
the neighbor said she wanted to strangle the neighbor's kids. Yeah, I've heard.
See, I just don't think that there's really any proof of the time that they were in the garden either. Like any of that stuff. I think it might be true kind of how it went there, but like how do we know that it was 5:30 or whatever time that they say it was? It just
Because they don't keep track of time. They don't know time. They don't look at the time. So how do you know what time it was, Candace? You don't know what time it was.
Yeah.
You're estimating, oh, she went missing about 10 minutes before I called the police. Or I think it was 10 minutes. Well, 3 o'clock, we know they got home from her friend now, Jenna. Jenna says, no, they got home at 3 o'clock, which matches up perfectly with the timeline we put together previously.
Yeah, like maybe like 3:10 or 15 or something, right? Not
Mhm.
3, but like because at 3:09 was the car video, right?
The car video. Yep. So it matches. So you got 3:15 to 4:15, 5:15, 6:15. That's 3 hours to account for. And to say I turned around for 2 minutes, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
And the kids. See, the thing is, now the police have interviewed the kids. They would know. The kids would easily have said, "Oh yeah, well she came home. We were all unloading groceries. That takes away the the hot car death theory." Hey, Blue. So it takes away that theory from it. Is your dog barking too?
They barked when my daughter just came home. Oy, oy, oy.
Somebody just
Yeah,
delivered a
that
package.
takes away from those theories. But so what do? You've got Jody Sue, who lives next door, or lived next door, and she's telling some stuff. Then now you've got Jenna. Now you've got another girl named Dawn, and they're all talking. And then you have the other people who have been talking to Dawn. It's just like nothing. None of this. None of this adds up.
Yeah, look at
Look, oh my goodness. Hi, Peanut. So adorable.
Yeah, she's pretty
I
cute.
can't. So cute.
That's all I always wanted.
I see them and I'm like, I want one of those.
Yeah.
But then I hear them bark and I'm like, no, I don't.
Well, she doesn't bark. She doesn't bark as much. That was Blue barking. But
Blue's the barker, huh?
yeah, she barks sometimes just to copy Blue. She'll see Blue barking and then go, "I want to be like Blue." You can see the look on her face, and then she'll bark. It's so weird. She doesn't even know what she's barking at. She's just imitating Blue, looking at Blue, barking. Yay!
So
it's really
cute.
strange, but
Let me see. People are asking me for this iPhone link, but I don't know. Hold on, please.
Apparently, it's a Yorkie. Um,
She looks just like a Yorkie,
yeah, like a
though.
Yorkie Chihuahua mix or something.
Oh, is it mixed with a Chihuahua?
I think so. That's what they say.
Sorry. Oh,
Yeah, she's a cool dog. Poops in the house sometimes, so don't like that. But
believe me, I had the floor people here today because
yeah.
I can't take my floors anymore. So,
So has
uh,
anybody heard what the results were in the those hikers? You know, the family with the dog and the baby all died. Apparently, they were just about ready to come out with a report. I think it was 11 o'clock, our time. Anybody know?
I don't know.
I owe a hoodie if it was the dog shaking the water off and aerosolizing um, an algae plume that killed them
Haven't
all.
heard yet. Yeah, they're saying they have not heard yet.
Oh, it's
Oh,
2
it's
p.m.
at
West
2 p.m.
Pacific time. I thought it was 11. Okay.
And then somebody asked about the so the boys. There are I don't know what the boys told Jody Sue that she won't say, but I will say that Jenna has confirmed the boys were spoken to, and that they have confirmed that Summer went downstairs. I don't know how true that is. We don't know how true that is, but that's what we're being
I
told.
think it's the time that nobody has accurate at the house because she could have gone downstairs at. I mean, you know, you get home at 3:15. You go unload the groceries, put some laundry in. Maybe at 4:15 you're doing the gardening. Goes downstairs at 4:30. I mean, there could have been like an hour
For
after she
sure.
went down, or hour and a half even.
Yep. And that's why I've heard, um, Don Wells has said there are things we cannot talk about in the timeline. We just can't. So the timeline, the police want to keep close to the vest for whatever reason, because maybe there's something out there that they don't want people to know. And, as much as we believe that we should be told everything, we shouldn't because we are not a trustworthy group. Okay? We cause chaos here. Facebookers and YouTubers are crazy and we cause chaos. So that's why they're not going to tell us everything.
You know, it's interesting. If I think if Don, well, basically, if you know that one channel didn't do all those interviews and bring on an expert to just trash Don into oblivion, and then also if you didn't have um, you know, that fake phone call that they made,
Oh,
I think without that, I think a lot more people would have been accepting of what the behavior panel just said.
I agree
I
with
think
you.
they just that fake phone call was
Ruin them.
really devastating. As far as for me, anyways, it was like, oh god, that is.
That the phone call hurt me as if I know these people. I was hurt from that phone call. But did you catch the behavior panel make that reference to that channel? They said, we went out there to talk to him, and we did, he's not he doesn't trust people because he has talked to other people who had an agenda.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
I was like, I know who you're talking about. I
Yeah,
know who you're talking
and they
about.
also referred to it later when they said, or on this show where they said, there's people that try to take past behavior and form it into a conclusion of what happened.
And that's such, if there's one thing that I could combat on here, past behavior absolutely does not always predict future behavior. That's bullshit. It makes me nuts. Almost every single person in my family has been a drug addict at some point. They're not today. Listen, people that I know who were criminals, been in the prison 25 years ago, aren't today. It doesn't always mean because you did something in your past, doesn't mean that 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, you're going to be exactly the same. People mature, they change, they have regrets, whatever.
Yeah, it
So to
doesn't mean
keep
that, but
saying that,
you can
oh,
you can have it in there as it's a negative against them in terms of what a possibility. Okay, but it doesn't
Agreed.
mean, oh yeah, because this happened,
Then
they
this is
did
going to
it,
happen.
and let's just go all in and start trying to make it seem like it. No matter what we say, everything we find, we're going to confirm our bias with everything. That's the part.
Right.
That's what sucks on social media.
And I've seen YouTubers who have criminal pasts, or have made severe mistakes on YouTube come out and say, well, past behavior indicates future behavior. No, that's not true because you're not the same as you were when you did those things, right? You've changed. Why don't we have that same expectation for other people until they're proven guilty? And they haven't been proven guilty yet. We don't know. We're not the police. And that's why I like panels like the behavior panel, who can give us a little bit of insight that we may not have had into their behaviors, because to me that it made sense what they were saying.
Yeah.
That he feels maybe Candace isn't being 100% truthful, or he doesn't 100% believe her story.
Yeah.
So,
hey, by the way, everybody, can you guys hit the like button? I mean, that's ridiculous.
uh-oh,
286 out of 676 people. You guys got to do it because you don't want me to hit the auctioneer button.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
I don't even know if it works right now. You'd probably be happy with that. Oh, maybe. Hold on, let's see. Got to refresh that.
Helen says,
I'm tired of it.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Here we go, everybody. Hit the like button right now.
I'm tired of it. Not
hit the like button. Hit the like button. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Hit the like button. Hit the like button.
20, 30, and 30, and 30, 25, 30. You want to put 30, sir? 25 of them, you're out. I'm 25, 30, 30, now 5, 35.
Lord God, help us.
Hey, that got a good 100 there. That's pretty good.
Look at you. You and your damn auctioneer button.
Yeah.
I think it's the time frame, future and past. Yes. Can it indicate? Can it? Of course it can, because sometimes people never change because they don't want to.
Yeah.
But they even said, I do think this guy has quite a past and he's not a great guy, but I do believe he is trying to change. They just said it.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that the whole, I mean, that's just me. The religion thing is completely 100% genuine, That's just my opinion. They seem like, one of them at least said that they think he's trying to, starting a new kind of life like that. Now, if he had molested like a 4-year-old 2 years ago, then it would kind of be a lot worse for him.
Every bit of hate that he's getting, if he had done that 2 years ago, if he had done that 10 years ago, if he, as a grown-ass man, was molesting any child of any age at any time, as a grown man, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, I think the mob that we have on here would be entitled to say whatever the hell they wanted to say about that man. But we don't know. We don't understand. We've never even heard Jeannie speak yet. And I understand why. It's intimidating. YouTube is scary in itself. Social media is the devil. And she doesn't have to, I mean, Chris has talked to her, and he truly believes everything that she's told him. Her sister has spoken for her. And she said she's a private person. She doesn't want to talk about this. You block it out. I'm a witness to that. I've blocked most of my childhood out. I get it. Nobody wants to talk about that. And whatever he did do to her hurt her. And I am fully in support of Jeannie pressing charges against him. If she believes those charges can stick, then she should do that. That doesn't help us with this. They are two totally separate situations. Two totally different time periods, 40 years apart. It's not helping us find Summer to keep, let Utah courts handle that. It's too much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kim.
Yeah, somebody said.
I'm saying Queen of Kings. I didn't hear Jeannie speak. I didn't hear her yet. I've heard Mary and I've heard Trish.
Yeah. Probably true there, VP. Yeah. Well, here's one of the things that's kind of funny, because remember that he went after the Twitter guy. Well, the Twitter guy is still tweeting. How's that possible if he's dead in body parts in the reserve? It's really strange.
He could be speaking from the grave.
Yeah.
There are such a thing as spirits.
Yeah, a lot of sensationalism going on over there. Well, do you want to listen to this last part? Like, I actually think their conclusions might be kind of... I mean, I recorded the entire thing, but it's...
Yeah, let's listen to the last part.
Tell me if I'm in the right
Somebody
spot.
said he's tweeting from a spirit box. Duh.
Oh, yeah? Where is that? Stupid! That's stupid! I heard it. Did you heard it? You heard it. I know you heard it.
Now that did sound like Don Wells. Stop playing with me. See?
Stupid! I heard it, man. There's no doubt.
I'm
He's
for
not
it.
dead. He's
Sure.
All right, let's see what I think this might be.
All right, let's see.
I'm for it.
Sure.
We still got
What
plenty
do
to
we
do.
People want
We
some
should
more.
keep bringing it up.
Wait, why does it sound double like that?
I don't know.
I'm for it.
Sure.
We still got
What
plenty
do we
to do.
People want
We
some
should
more.
keep bringing it up until we find Summer.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, because they're going to find out what happened, and I agree with Greg. I don't think he had anything to do with it. So at the same
before
time,
that,
I don't think he believes Candace or her story on that, whatever it is.
I think it's before this. This is more like the conclusion, right? Let's see.
Yeah, this is one of those great opportunities for
I
you
think it's a little bit
to
before
take
that.
away your bias. I'm going to.
In my opinion, that Don Wells.
I'm just going back.
We're also talking to a person with a checkered past that everyone will use to
Is it before
paint
that
the
too?
future. I'm
Might
going to
be
dip
over
my
here,
finger.
right here.
This video really illustrates
go.
the
Thank you.
importance of understanding microcultures and cultural differences in people. This is the reason that we baseline human beings. And when we hear these phrases like got gone and things like that, I didn't know until very recently that that's common along that entire part of the country. It's a super common phrase. My mistake. I'm open to admit all that stuff because that's part of what we're understanding when we're talking to somebody that's in a microcult.
Was it before that where this whole conclusion started? Was he second? Remember how they each had their own thing to say?
I don't know who was first.
Wasn't the
I'm
British
not sure.
guy before that? What's his name? Mark or something?
He might have been. I don't know. You got to
Around us. So really, this whole thing is just a lesson for me.
Yeah, I think he started it. So let me just go to there. It's only like 5 minutes at the.
Yeah. So, what comes out of this for me is how easily he gets wound up in this soap opera that's going on
We've said that a million
concurrently with the search for Summer Wells. And I think it's quite easy for us to get wound up in that soap opera. What I take away from this is to try not to do that and try and stick to the more factual elements that we can see around us. So really, this whole thing is just a lesson for me in saying, can we keep things a little bit narrower and not widen it out into this extraordinary soap opera with stepsisters and all kinds of and YouTubers and Facebook and all these people involved, and narrow it a little more down, because I think that's where we're going to find the real issues here. When I look through the whole of the interview, I do get interested by how unsecure that area is, and all the people who come up with, for all kinds of reasons, looking for her. That's where my nose would be going right now, towards that. Not so much on Don. It could be wrong. Chase, your thoughts?
This video really illustrates the importance of understanding microcultures and cultural differences in people. This is the reason that we baseline human beings. And when we hear these phrases like got gone and things like that, I didn't know until very recently that that's common along that entire part of the country. It's a super common phrase. My mistake. I'm open to admit all that stuff because that's part of what we're understanding when we're talking to somebody that's in a microculture. We're also talking to a person with a checkered past that everyone will use to paint the future. I'm going to dip my finger in this past. I'm going to start to just paint the future. I want to be very certain about what's going on. I think that in my opinion, that Don Wells is mostly honest, and I think that there is a tremendous amount of doubt or uncertainty that at a minimum with Candace's story or her level of involvement or her knowledge of what actually took place. And maybe there's some knowledge there. I think I went over 30 seconds. I apologize. Greg, what do you got?
Yeah, this is one of those great opportunities for you to take away your bias. I'm going to tell you, when I went there, the guy has a background. We know he has a background. He may even still be doing some things that you may or may not agree with. I'm not talking to any of that. I went there with one purpose in mind. I wanted to know what he knew about Summer Wells, what this whole thing is about, and whether he was involved in the disappearance of Summer Wells. I'll tell you, based on his baseline, which we went through a lot of process to discover, pushing him into corner with some simple questions that he had no reason to lie about that caused stress, and looking for that stress level to rise, and then finally going right to the point and hammering and seeing him emotional about this kid the day before. I'm going to tell you, I don't believe he's involved in her disappearance. Could I be wrong? Sure. But based on everything I saw face to face, based on everything I felt and saw and learned and thought and listened by watching and listening to his baseline and looking for deviation at the key moments, I don't think he's involved. Scott, what do you got?
I agree with you, Greg. I don't think he is either. Having been there with him, I agree 100% with you. I don't think he was involved at all. He didn't answer the questions correctly to be involved as far as that goes. But I agree with you guys. This is a perfect example of, it's a great example of being able to not only watch somebody be questioned and interviewed, but be able to get the other side of the people who are interviewing it, give you their side of it as well. Why we ask questions this way, why our approach was a certain way, why we were quiet here, why we get a little bit louder in other parts, which I think we're going to do. Are we going to do a next part 2 of this, you guys?
I'm for it.
Sure.
We still got something to do.
People want
We
some
should
more.
keep bringing it up until we find Summer.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, because they're going to find out what happened, and I agree with Greg. I don't think he had anything to do with it. So, and at the same time, I don't think he believes Candace or her story on that, whatever it is. I guess from the TV interviews. So I think it's a great example to be able to see someone be interviewed and also get the input from people who interviewed that person and why they did it, and give you an insight as to what we're thinking is to get those questions asked and to elicit those answers from them. All right. Well, if you like what we're doing, please subscribe. All you got to do is hit that little red thing down there.
Yeah, and their videos are in the description, both the first 2. So if you want to subscribe to them, go click on one of their videos and do it.
Yeah, and let's be clear. They're not just listening to...
Move your mic. Your mic's kind of weird right now.
Oh, it's far away. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
They're not just listening to his words. They're not just listening to his speech. Somebody said, you can't tell if someone's lying by analyzing their speech. That's why people are often shocked that their own family members lie to them. Right, because we're just regular people. It's very different. What they're doing is pseudoscience, really. Okay. So Voices Behind the Wall, the one who has been the connection to Dawn, is in here. I think you've been seeing her chats, right? She says, they straight up told Dawn that Candace doesn't look good, and maybe these guys are right. I like them. I do think Candace was more involved than Dawn still. Maybe they can see that too.
Well, either, I don't, I mean, when you say more involved, I don't know what that means.
That implies that Dawn was also involved.
Yeah, it's sort of it seems like it'd be hard for both of them at this point to be involved, because they'd be more of a cohesive unit. They're not.
They're not. No, they're definitely, they don't seem to be. Behavior analysis is not admissible in court. No, it is not admissible in court. It's just giving us YouTube detectives, because that's what we are, more of an insight into cases that we follow. That's all it's doing. We don't profess that they're going to go to YouTube, the police, and take these interviews and do something with them. No, we don't think that that's going to happen. So maybe you guys don't even know it's voodoo.
What does that mean?
Who knows?
What does that mean, Kathy?
It's voodoo.
Yeah.
Don got that whole mafia idea from chasing when we were joking about having mob ties. All of a sudden, they were saying nonsense.
Who knows nothing, Connie? Candace? No way. I don't agree with that. I mean, I guess, all I can say is I can't say no way. I mean, it's possible she doesn't know something.
I can't with you voices. You're ridiculous. Your opinion is whatever. Okay, so they're arguing. All right, whatever. Don't be so open-minded that your brains fall out. Well, I mean,
I like that one.
Ray thinks that there was an accident at the house and that
or something like unintentional. Like, let's say you slap Summer.
She hit her head.
And then something happened, But, like, it wasn't intentional. And then it was covered up because it would have been immediately seen as neglect, and then all the other kids would have been taken. And so then they panicked and then just drove, like, God, it could even be like 6 miles away, put her in the woods 20 feet somewhere, drove back, boom. All the rest of the story is correct other than the amount of time. So that's why I've come up with that theory, is because it's so simple.
Well, CPS was due to be there that day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, wow, that's even worse. So why weren't they there then?
They may have come while they were gone. They didn't get home until after 3.
Hey, it's one of the CPS workers. We just figured it out. They showed up.
You're so ridiculous. And that's what they say, that the CPS was due there.
Let's look into the background of the agents who were supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we might know. Streamlabs is deleting. If you do not put a space after your period and your punctuation is jacked up, StreamYards or Stream, whatever the hell this is, will delete you. So.
Yeah. And that was a joke, everybody. The people laughing, I know that you got that. But here's the one. Want to hear something? Want to hear the reality, everybody? There are people that just heard that joke and went, whoa. And they are literally going to go try to look that thing up.
Yeah.
Because that's how weird people are.
Right.
And
let's say nothing that we're saying is for a fact. We didn't talk to CPS, right? We don't have an inside line to them. This is coming from both Dawn's family, Allie, and Jenna. Jenna, who is allegedly Candace's friend. We've got to keep this in mind. People hear something and they take it as absolute fact on these channels. It is not a fact.
Yeah.
You have to take some of it, okay, and the rest that makes your stomach queasy, get rid of it.
Well, that's why I'm sort of
don't
glad sometimes I don't know I don't look into all these little tiny cases like this, little minutia stuff, because once you start doing that, you get overload, and what you just got to look at is the bigger pictures, the timeline, location, how things, the stories people tell. But when you start, for me, it's difficult to keep a rational mind and reasonable mind when I have too much stuff. Like right now, I'm hearing about the video of Dawn at the fairgrounds. I mean, I'm not going to be adding that to any stories until somebody confirms something like that. I don't know where that came from. Did you mute yourself?
Yes, because my daughter was talking to me.
Oh.
Remember I told you I was checking to see what time she had to work?
Oh,
She told me 4, and now it's 3:30.
Well, I could see you say yes, but you didn't hear you. So I wanted to let you know.
I tell ya.
You're going to hit me upside the head?
I just had to look at the weather really quickly.
I got some new sound effects for you, though.
Me? I don't want those bastards. Use them over there.
No, they're really good. They're good ones.
Well, we should wrap up if possible,
Yeah.
so that I can take this child to her job.
Well, do you have any? What time do you have to get out of here? 12:30.
No, she has to be there at 3:30 now.
Oh, 3:30. Okay, you got to leave then. All right. Well, I hope you guys liked the show. We kind of, we did a little Brian Laundrie stuff, and we didn't go over the whole show because it's not really, we were just talking about the gist of the behavior panel.
Mm-hmm.
of what they were talking about, and it sounds like they believe Dawn has nothing to do with her disappearance, and they are skeptical about his. Well, they wouldn't have any. Well, I don't know if they've talked to Candace, but for sure. But they feel like Dawn isn't certain about Candace, and therefore makes her seem like, wow, why wouldn't he be more certain? He must have a feeling of some sort, right?
Yeah.
And what do you have any last thoughts?
I mean, I think this is going right along with what we've kind of felt since the beginning. If the TBI could verify that he wasn't somewhere and pin this on him in some way, then they would have done that. You know, hopefully they're checking every single thing. And if the TBI and the FBI and the police haven't been able to dispute his timeline, then his timeline is what it is. And these guys on top of it saying they don't see deception, I'm inclined to believe that there's not deception.
Yeah. I mean, there's 4 people, too. It wasn't just one talking about LY means you're lying. Hey, hey, if you guys want to be a channel member, you guys should do that, because one of these days soon we're going to start trying to do the regular, you know, I don't know, a couple times a month where we just have channel members in a live stream. You can actually call in.
Well, I think we should do that for the Dr. Phil review.
Yeah.
I think for the Dr. Phil review, we should let the members call in and, you know,
just have a conversation. We won't call it a panel, though, okay?
It's not a panel.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I think that'll be an interesting one, because I know that Dr. Phil sees things differently, right? So I think a lot more about Candace will come out then, because, you know, he's not always super sweet to people.
Yeah, and if she did storm off the set, ooh.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of weird.
It's going to look too good for her.
I wonder if they filmed that. Then it'd be getting a little bit like Jerry Springer at that point.
Yeah, remember everybody used to run off Jerry Springer and Maury? You are not the father. They go running off. You were 99.99% sure.
Yeah. So,
no.
Well, thanks. Welcome to new member Nisi, and then leave it to Beaver.
Leave it to Bieber.
Well, it's like leave it to Beaver. Thank you for the super chat. Welcome, Katie. Thank you, Brandy Bradford. Crystal, a.k.a. Beaver Gaming Sub Crystal. And then XS Country. And then welcome to Linda. Or she's already been here for 2 months. And then Crystal, a.k.a. Beaver Gaming Sub Crystal. For becoming a member, Angie Lee. And then again, Crystal, a.k.a. Beaver Gaming Sub Crystal Super Chat. Tracy became a member. Kim Holmes, Sarah M, Pancakes, and Patty Barnett just became a channel member. So thank you.
Yeah, we don't know the latest on Dr. Phil. He doesn't have the schedule up yet for the show. Or I don't see it yet. So, no.
We're going to come up with we're going to need to strap you into your chair in the one position, though. I think did you see how far away your mic got from you? It was like...
Yeah. I put it over there, Gray Hughes, okay?
Well, don't. You're ruining...
You want me to do the Don Wells sexy voice? I'm not going to do it.
You're ruining my story. You're ruining my story. It sounded a hell of a lot better when it was just you sliding 40 feet away from your... Anyways, all right. So that's it, everybody. Thank you for showing up. You know, I don't know when you're going to do a live show later, maybe, or
maybe
tomorrow.
I don't know.
I'm doing one later. I don't know what it's going to be on, but we'll see you guys later. But hopefully we'll see you guys back over here, not too far off into the future. All right. So That's it, everybody. Thank you for showing up. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. What do you say?
I love you so much. Bye.
There you go. See. And bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah.
Dance. Where are my shoes? Oh, no.
I don't know where your shoes are.